And it's this community that hopes. We've never wavered once to support MPC by increasing our property taxes. And I believe that recently we've lost a lot of votes. And you need to get them back. You need to go to Sacramento and fix the problem.
Amen.
Like I said, I have to introduce myself. I'm Paul Taylor. I'm usually sitting up there with you. I come with a couple of trustees.
So aren't you lucky?
Well, I'm going to read this. Anyway, I have just a couple of things. I think I should have more than that. The main thing I want to say is the faculty is not the faculty is the core of the institution. In many ways, we have students, we have part-time faculty, which are also faculty. We have administrators, we have board members, so we have many different segments of the college. But the ones that stay the longest are the faculty. There's a turnover in the other places. I've taught here and served on the board for almost 50 years. Dave Clemens is retiring. Served teaching here for almost 50 years. By the way, David and I were the organizers of the first union contract at MPC. Homer Lawson, I think he is still teaching just here or something, because he's been here forever. Now, we don't do that. We don't just cater to the institution. And it isn't just me. Former president of the actually said, former president of the state bar. So governance is important.
I should try and get up there.
So I think I'm going to say this. There's an old country saying about mom. Has to do with all of your faculty. I'm going to rephrase it and say, if the faculty ain't no good.
Amen.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Leonard O'Neill. I've been with the Hotel Workers Union for 40 years. I'm glad to see one of our alumnus sitting up here. Mr. Johnson was an excellent bartender in his day. But look, I'm here this afternoon. I've done a little bit of bargaining myself, and it's a tough job. It's a tough job. Now, this morning, I have a pup. Pup's name is Marley. Marley's sick. So, I don't have a lot of money, but it's about $1,200 for the vet bill. And Marley's part of our family. And we're going to find the $1,200 to take care of Marley. Because Marley's part of the family. He does what's expected of him. He does his job. Gives his love, his nourishment. And so we're going to find the money. And I would urge you to take that same prospect. Because that's what you need to do with the pups that you have here. All of them. And one of the things I've learned in negotiations with the union over the years is that relationships, and that's what you have. Money is money. You're going to find it somewhere. But relationships, they got to be cultivated. You can't negotiate relationships. You got to cultivate them. They're going to be hereafter. The sounds of the negotiations today are going to reverberate for years in this college. And the majority of the teachers that I know of at MPC are hardworking, looking for prosperity, hope, right? And if they must be purchased with a price of profits, I don't think it's too big a price to pay. And I urge you to go back and do your diligence. Thank you.
I have done paid work at MPC, I've taken classes at MPC, I've attended numerous cultural events, community events, and I have many, many friends who have been the benefit of wonderful education at MPC. if I misunderstood what I heard, please forgive me, because I know you can't correct it right now. You will have an opportunity later. I believe when I was waiting in line, I heard someone make a joke about that Carl was no longer on the board and lucky you. I hope that that person did not mean because otherwise you would be here doing this work now or casting a negative light on the work you're doing now. I hope that person meant, good for you, you have more free time, Carl, to do other things in your life, because if that person meant to disparage the work you're doing now, I take offense at that. This is some of the most important work you will do. You are called at this time to make decisions that will affect the future of this organization, and it's important work. Now, some of you may be up for re-election next year. I don't know if you're choosing to run again or not, but this is important. This is what you're called to do. So I appreciate you taking it very seriously. And faculty is the most important and essential element for a quality student learning experience. The faculty you can attract, the faculty you can keep, the faculty. There are other strategies to get other needs of the organization met in a cost-effective way. Faculty is the best investment. Many people in the public are concerned about this. I had time to come today. I have many, many friends and interested parties who will be at the next meeting because they were not able to clear their schedules and be here now. But the public is watching, and we're counting on you to do the right thing. And I trust that you will. You can. It's a matter of doing it. Thank you.
Hello, Heather Craig, I'm President of Academic Senate, but I am speaking on my behalf, not necessarily on the Academic Senate's behalf, but I can tell you that I'm very much influenced by the Academic Senate. So after hearing experiences of others, other campuses, and of some of our people and our administrators that are here that have been to other campuses, it strikes me that MPC is somewhat of a unique history here in that we are very collaborative. Our faculty, our administrators, our classified staff work very collaboratively to resolve even the most difficult issues. Sorry. This morning you heard me speak on behalf of the Academic Senate. I listed a number of concrete concerns that we have had in regard to our administration. Poor communication, disregard for agreed upon procedures, obstructive behavior, and disregard for pedagogy. In short, we are greatly concerned about the methods that the administration has been using to attempt to accomplish their goals, which are really big goals, I understand. And we're concerned about the poor and restricted communication between all parties on campus. In this regard, I ask the Board of Trustees and the administration to consider some of the following actions. Open lines of communication. Encourage and increase meetings between the Academic Senate President and the administration. Attend an occasional Senate meeting or meet with senators. Get to know how the Senate works. Consider your board policy number 2740, which reads, the board also recognizes that study sessions with staff, faculty, and members of the public are a useful way to examine new developments and/or critical issues. Successful implementation of new developments and/or the resolution of issues are assured with the buy-in and added insights of participatory decision-making. Your board policy. Number 2, investigate. Look at encourage administrators to reconsider the counsel that they've received, to change their strategy for management and administration to one that's more collegial and collaborative rather than directive and threatening. Follow up on the reasons for public comments or mistrust on campus. Ask multiple parties about the goings-on in committee meetings. Use sources for understanding that maybe you have not used before. Talk to people you don't usually talk to. Probe into the reasons for breakdown in communication and trust on campus and offer mentorship and big picture solutions. Number 3, I guess, direct the higher administration to change their strategy to a more collaborative one. Encourage them to consider and welcome the views of their faculty, classified, and administrative colleagues in our MPC campus community rather than being advocates for the design or strategies suggested by other council. Encourage them to embrace MPC and its collaborative history. Encourage the administration to rely primarily upon faculty for academic and professional matters, to cease with obstructive strategies, to embrace the personality of our college, and to rise to the challenging and in-depth discussions posed at committee meetings as we work to rectify our troubles and protect and maintain the work that we do well for our students. Number 3, have more oversight. Seek to understand the pros and cons. I'm almost done. Verify the administrative hiring procedures are posted. verified procedures are posted.
Thank you, Dr. Craig. We do need to hold
That's
to our
right.
time limit today.
Change it up.
We
Thank
need
you.
to-
Good afternoon. My name is Lou Canetta. I live in Monterey. I've been on the faculty at CSUMB in the College of Business for over 10 years and over 8 years at MIIS in the Fisher School of Management, teaching MBA students. I don't have to tell this board how important community colleges are. Suffice it to say that a holder of a degree or a certificate from a community college will double their income within 3 years. There are countless other benefits and impact that a community college will have, both economically and socially. Closer to home, here at MPC, administrators have been issued an ultimatum to their teachers. Either accept the last best and final offer in its entirety, or I'll be forced on them. The last best and final offer could lead to conditions that would negatively affect student learning. MPC faculty members have been working without a contract since 2007. Proposed salary increases are insufficient to keep up with the cost of living. All this while the district proposes heavy restructuring in an already top-heavy administration. Essential teaching responsibilities, such as the elimination of reassigned time for grading and preparing for class, move basic duties of professional instructing from college-required necessity to catch as catch can, do it on one's own time. Proposed contract is an insult. While teachers are being offered a contract that moves traditional classwork from the campus to their home office, the administration plans to expand the administration instead of investing in the classroom. One such position is the Dean of Planning and Research and Instructional Effectiveness. This is in response to accreditation recommendations for integrated planning. The only org chart available to me is a year or two old. However, this position is in addition to an organization already employing a president, 3 vice presidents, 10 directors, 6 deans or associate deans, 8 division chairs, and 21 coordinators. Don't these people already plan and evaluate performance and organizational effectiveness? Your mission statement is to foster student learning and achievement. This is only possible with professional instructors standing in front of classes, not by paying overstaffed bureaucrats for going to meetings, planning planners, coordinating coordinators, and managing managers. The student is your customer. Education is your product. The teacher delivers your product. You should invest in your teachers, and please stop being distracted.
I'm full-time faculty, art department faculty member since 1989, former art department chair and creative arts division chair, and I'm currently a member of the MPC Academic Senate. I'm here to let you all know that it is not too late to right this ship. MPC is in tremendous trouble with accreditation probation status, contract negotiations halted, and the lowest morale I've seen in 28 years. We all know this. What we perhaps all don't know is that the faculty are dedicated, lifelong educators with our fingers on the pulse. We are not afraid of change. We are not recalcitrant by nature. If our current administration would work with us, not against or over us, an institutional reorganization, a thoughtful budget, and a fair contract would be a sure thing. There are so many ways in which things have gone awry. I'm personally asking you, the MPC Board of Trustees, to make this right. If you are determined to extend Dr. Tribely's contract, it will be done. But if you do it, then please do it right. Direct Dr. Tribely to truly negotiate with the faculty union. Direct him to go back to the table and listen. Direct him to work with the Academic Senate and the division chairs to improve our college, to put students first, to listen to faculty and staff input. We are the ones with the institutional memory. We know the college, we know our community. The Monterey Peninsula is a place like no other. MPC is a place like no other. We object to be treated with a one-size-fits-all approach to education that we know is detrimental to our students. We object to being treated like the enemy when we point out that the cost of living in the Monterey Bay requires us to receive a fair pay increase just to hold on to our homes. We object to being ignored by an administration that does not know or understand our community and chastises us for trying to share institutional memory. Again, I'm a faculty member who has spent my entire career at MPC, working with thousands of students over nearly 3 decades. I have something to offer.
My colleagues have something to offer. We are MPC. We are the reason students come to our school. Our performance was not cited by the ACCJC. Use our expertise and direct this administration to negotiate and work with us for the future of all of us. Thank you.
John Griswold, MPC alumnus, MPC adjunct faculty member, MPC tenured faculty, and difference maker award winner this past semester. I went back and forth deciding if I wanted to speak today to the board, but after Sunday, when I read the Monterey Herald guest commentary by our board members, I was compelled to speak. I asked that I found the views in the portrayal of MPC faculty and the faculty union quite disturbing and hurtful. To have board members that are voted into position by the community that they serve cast such negativity on the faculty that work tirelessly to support the community members that have voted for these board members is disgraceful and offensive. I cannot speak to the pressures that you, the board, must feel to please your constituents, but in the same light, before you speak to the media and the community that I live in, wait and try to understand my history, my story, and the struggles and pressures I feel every day as an MPC math instructor. I was born and raised in Seaside. I went to public schools, Dairy Woods Elementary, King Middle School, Monterey High School, then MPC. From MPC, I transferred to UC Berkeley, then went to UCLA to get my degree. As soon as my degree conferred, I came straight back to MPC to teach. I've been teaching adjunct since 2005, full-time, thankfully, since 2012, and I've been serving. Seaside MPC made me. I proudly represent my city. I represent my school everywhere I go. I have a home in Seaside 2 blocks from former students, or 2 doors now, sorry, from former students, and where I go out in the community, I walk my dog, I go check my mail, I go to the store, I see students in the community, and they see me in their community. They see me, a student, a local kid, that went to all the community schools and came back home to serve them. I embody the I'm MPC campaign. MPC has given me so much, and now I work to give my all back to MPC and the future of MPC. But all this comes at a price. In your commentary, there are 2 glaringly offensive and inaccurate statements. In the piece you commented, benefits have been passed down to the faculty members in their contract through small class sizes in many courses and reduced teaching loads for many faculty. In my math classes, we are urged to enroll as many students as possible, that we should have at least 35 students enrolled. Most instructors do add beyond this amount, not because of efficiency rating, but because we see the need of our students. Our students need the classes, and we're compelled to help. We don't have instructors available and space available to open alternate sections to have more classes, so we're forced to have students sitting on the floor, elbow to elbow, just trying to get instruction. Unfortunately, my classes don't have the luxury of having a lab attachment that can limit enrollment. I'm not offering a highly specialized course where I don't have to worry about having at least 15 students to have my class threatened to be canceled. I, like most MPC instructors, have classes that are pushed to limits and beyond fire code so MPC can have the almighty FTS. A typical teaching load is 15 units, three math classes. In the fall 2015-2016, I taught 5 classes in person. That's well beyond. While my wife was pregnant, I worked.
Thank you.
I work here, I work at Rio, because I need the money to pay for my family.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Gary Bowen, Professor Emeritus, Professional Concerned Citizen. Cliches are cliches for a reason. They've stood the test of time and proven themselves to be true over that time. There are 2 cliches that come to mind that are not coincidentally related, and they are, talk is cheap and actions speak louder than words. We've been hearing for years now, from before my time of retirement, about how valued the faculty are. We value you. You are important. We've been hearing that they deserve raises, and yet there seems no money, despite year-end surpluses, to supply those raises. There is, however, money always, somehow, for more administrative positions. We hear how faculty are the first in line for the connection to the students, to first line of defense, if you will. That they are the most important factor in determining if a student comes to MPC. I promise you, there is no student in Monterey County sitting looking at a catalog right now and going, what great programs, what great instructors, but my decision is coming down to who the Dean of Institutional Instruction is. Which brings us to actions speak louder than words. This faculty had to mediate not once, but twice to get money that was contractually owed to them. Negotiations have been held, but whether they've been held in good faith is up to question. When the administration and the board say they value faculty, their actions prove otherwise, and that their concerns about fiscal accuracy are dismissed and brushed off. Certain faculty members have been told how to deport themselves or how to modify their language when addressing the board. Meetings are changed at the last minute, and the announcement for those meetings goes out after 6:30 on a Friday night. Which leads to our final cliche. Perception is reality. Perception in this community is that MPC is in free fall. The two questions that I'm asked most often when I bump into community members who recognize me for my work here are, how's retirement? Not overrated, by the way. And what in the world is going on at MPC? It is painful to sit on the sidelines and to watch what has happened and what is going on, and to see my former colleagues treated in such a manner. So what's the solution to this? How do we take action to those words? For one thing, I would urge this board to take the rubber approval stamp, burn it, and scatter the ashes. To look at the proposals coming from this administration carefully.
Thank you, Mr. Bumble.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Luke Spence. I'm a newly tenured professor in the math department here at MPC. I just want to provide a different voice. I think that perhaps over the years you've come to hear from the same faculty members over and over and over again, and the tendency might be to view them as troublemakers. And I just want you to know that since I started working full-time at MPC 4 years ago, I was an adjunct for 5 years before then. The atmosphere really has gone downhill. Morale is very low, and instructors that were instrumental in bringing me to MPC and encouraging me to apply and to work here and bringing me into the department are now bringing me aside and telling me that it's never been this bad in their 30 years of working here at MPC. And so I just want to encourage you to really listen to the faculty. Listen to Lauren and Alan and David Clemens and the people who have been here for a long time. They're not troublemakers. This is the things that they bring to you are positions that are real and are widespread among faculty. It's dark out there, and as someone who landed my dream job and really the job that I want to stay with, it's scary to think about the school that I love and the decline that it's gone. So I encourage you once again to listen with an open mind to all the instructors who are coming here to these board meetings. So thank you.
My name is Albert Traumetta. I'm the new ASMPC Director of Student Representation, and most importantly, a concerned student. I frankly find it ridiculous that administration has negotiated from the position that they have negotiated from. I keep hearing, revenue increase this, increased budget that, etc. And what I don't hear is you guys telling us how you will take this increased budget and provide these teachers an actual platform of a contract on which they can work comfortably without fear of the cost of living here in the Monterey Bay Area. And there is, one thing that I have, learned over the years, it's that you don't negotiate by ignoring a problem. You negotiate by proactively solving it. So my advice is to solve this dispute by proactively negotiating, which you guys are obviously not currently doing, and provide the faculty a contract that is fair and reasonable for the faculty. Your current model of unbalanced administration growth to faculty negotiation is simply unsustainable. And I think no one in this room is for unsustainable models, unless you're crazy. Thank you.
My name is Kayla Jones, and I serve on the City Council for the City of Seaside. Many of my constituents attend MPC. I'm currently a student at MPC and have been for a little over a year. And all of my teachers have been incredibly supportive and flexible and understanding of my position and my reality as a working mother, and they need more support from you. The decisions you're making here are not isolated to MPC. They affect my residents, they affect the residents of Monterey and the residents of Marina. And if students come first, then teachers need to come first. I don't want my residents to not look at MPC as an option because the teachers are not being paid fairly and equitably. So I ask that you would please support my community, support the communities on the peninsula, support your teachers, and make the right decision here. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Jane Hayes. I was an MPC student 44 years ago. I was on the MPC Board of Trustees from 1988 to 1992. I served then with Caroline Page, who started the MPC Foundation, and with Bob Fall, who was president for 16 years, a man about whom I never heard anyone say anything bad. After Bob Fall retired in 1988, and its president came in, the faculty did not have confidence in, did not support. And it was a situation of demoralized faculty, as it is today. Fortunately, he was replaced by Dave Hopkins, who the faculty did have confidence in, and things got much better. But in the meantime, Bob, Caroline, and I replaced 3 very long-time board members. And I sympathize with what you say. I appreciate the commentary that was in Sunday's Herald that explained, of course, you can't pay faculty money that you don't have. But what you can do is you can readjust priorities. So I hope that you hire a consultant, an independent consultant, not from the college, but an independent consultant to show you how you can change priorities, and instead of increasing administration, you can give that to the faculty to build faculty confidence in the leadership. And the second thing I hope is that you do not extend the employment contract for the current president. The only way, those 2 things, your best way of restoring the confidence that I believe is necessary for a thriving, healthy Monterey Peninsula College.
Hello, my name is Helen Davis. I'm a taxpayer and a citizen. I vote and I own a home. And I am also a student at MPC, which is one of the most important parts of my life. But you don't value me as a student because I'm over 25 and don't plan to go out and get a job from this. But coming to MPC changed the trajectory of my life. It made it better. It made me a more productive member of my community. I serve as the art curator for the Monterey Peace and Justice Center. Because I came here, I am a success. And I don't thank you. I want to thank you, the faculty, for all you've done for us.
Hi, I'm a student at MPC, and my name is And with the amount that I have to pay for school, working full-time, getting paid $10 an hour like most of the classes, I wanted to go to the most important part, which is the teachers. Like that's where it's most important. And I feel like education should be valued. And if this is such an issue, it just makes me really sad that this is happening, you know. And also the water fountains are horrible. So I really wish you fixed that.
Georgia Van Dam, Humanities Division. I want to tell you a story, a true story, and I'm not revealing any secrets when I tell you this story. 1 year ago, I was asked to be a substitute note taker at a negotiation session. The regular note taker was sick. I walked in thinking, this is so exciting. A room full of people with a common goal, to educate our students in the classroom. I sat at the head of the table. The administrators were on my left. The faculty was on my right. I was taking notes. It was hot and heavy. We were discussing balancing the budget. People were tense. Finally, somebody said, let's take a coffee break. Good idea. Half the people left. 2 administrators sat to my left. 2 faculty sat to my right. The first administrator, doodling on his tablet, said, if we want to balance the budget, we got to get rid of teachers. Our jaws dropped. He said, yeah, we got to do a lot. We got to get rid of teachers. I was shocked. I wanted to say to him, what's the matter with you? Get rid of teachers, you're going to get rid of the students. That's the school. You can't get rid of teachers. I wanted to say, you've just given away the secret strategy that the negotiators have. Be niggardly and stingy with those teachers. Keep back everything you can from them. Threaten their benefits. Do whatever you can so that they'll quit. That's a good way to get rid of them. Then we can have more administrators. I didn't say it, not then, but I'm saying it now. That's what the negotiation committee came in with as their goal. Get rid of teachers. Get rid of teachers, you get rid of the school.
Good afternoon. I'm Dr. Dennis Van Dam, an alumnus of MPC, a resident of Seaside, a Monterey County native. I've got 32 years experience at 4 California community colleges as professor, academic senate president, and associate dean. My PhD is in higher and post-secondary education. My higher education began here. I care about MPC. 4.5 years ago, when the president was hired, our college was not on probation. Now it is. This is no coincidence. Probation gives this college a black eye. It reflects badly on MPC, and the community doesn't like it. The president has had over 4 years to approve this college, but he has failed. Why then does the board think that giving him another 4 years is going to change things? The board must not renew the president's contract, for he has done the college more harm than good. A vote of no confidence by the faculty is on the verge, with a strike vote next. If you board members renew his contract, he will send MPC farther into the ground. Retiring Professor Dave Clemens, who has given 46 years to MPC, says he has never seen morale worse. High morale is essential to an organization, and we need it badly. We need a leader at this critical time, but the president lacks leadership qualities. One mistake he has made, is to hire inept administrators, like an instructional dean that has taught hospitality, but not any academic subject. Bizarre hours for classes are being arbitrarily set by this department without consulting instructional faculty. It is prudent to discuss such changes with faculty first. Whatever happened to shared governance? When MPC hired an out-of-state applicant as the president, we got someone who was unfamiliar with this key tenet of California community colleges. Instead of shared governance, he uses a top-down administrative style. which has been proven a failure in both education and private industry. It is simply wrong. The evidence is clear. MPC faculty have received only a 2% salary increase in 10 years. We're a 61st of 72 community college districts in faculty salaries. Our faculty is paid over 10% lower than faculty at Hartnell, Cabrillo, and Gavilan colleges. Is this the way to motivate our teachers? Instead of rewarding them for work well done with a living wage, to ignore their pleas? At the meeting called May 17th by administration to discuss the budget, the salaries of administrators were not listed, but cleverly disguised, folded into, quote, academic salaries, unquote. This week's issue of the Monterey County Weekly revealed the president's salary as $205,000. That's $205,000. But no salary increase for faculty, contrary to Sunday's paid ad in the Monterey Herald, a sterling example of alternative facts. Why do I say this? Because the claimed 4% raise was the amount of back pay owed to the faculty when they generously I'm finishing my sentence. This back pay was only paid quite late after the teachers' union threatened to sue. This is not right. This is not just.
Thank you. Before you present something, we just need to make a clarification. If you want to make.
Go ahead.
If we're going to talk about items that are on the agenda already, we have that there. If they're off the agenda, that's fine, that's what we're talking about. But items of agenda need to be spoken to when we get to that item, okay? So, I mean, we're just going off base, we'll be here forever on everybody postulating what they want to do. Please talk about whatever you want to talk about if it's an open item, but not about items that are on the agenda. That's when you talk about that, that's all.
And we ask you to be respectful of each other and adhere to the 3-minute time limit. Thank you, sir.
Good afternoon. I'm Bob Coble. I'm a 20-year resident of Seaside. I'm a graduate of Pacific Middle High School, Monterey Peninsula Junior College, San Jose State College, and after that I began my career as a public school teacher. Over 40 years. Concurrent with that, 25 years service in the Army Reserve, which I retired as a first sergeant. Throughout my teaching career, I was involved in many negotiations. I was a chief negotiator for our union out in Guam for around 10 years and in North Monterey County. And as a chief negotiator, I was faced with some of the same thing that these people here are faced with. The constant stories, the poor boy stories, we don't have the money at the same time that the district wants to add more administrators. These people are giving you far more information than I had. But I want to tell you, I went to MPC in the 50s. I was there when the founding president, Calvin Flint, left MPC to go up to Foothill. And he took with him about 1/3 of the MPC staff because they got far better salaries and benefits up there than MPC. I know that MPC has a great faculty. And I don't want to see that same thing happen here again. So I just echo the other people's sentiments. Think more of the students and the staff than building the administrative empire. Thank you.
I just heard about this today, so I'm not as ready as I should be. I taught in Sabinas for over 1 year, and after I retired from there, I taught in the prison in Soledad for several years. Sometimes I still substitute. Sometimes I get a sub saying, please, Ms. Franklin, we can't find any. We need subs today. And they couldn't find anybody. And so to me, the most important thing in schools are the students and the teachers. People work carefully with the students. And I never heard anybody complain when an administrator couldn't show up. But when several teachers couldn't show up, there was really some serious problems. The administrator didn't show up. Nobody really cared. So let's do what we can to make the teachers as responsible and happy as they can be, because otherwise, besides the students, the most important thing in the schools. Thank you. All right.
afternoon, my name is Tyler Williamson. I moved to Monterey in October of 2010, and the following spring I enrolled into classes at MPC to finish my GE courses in order to transfer. I was working full-time at MPS, and so unfortunately didn't have the time to participate in extracurricular activities at MPC that spring. I was accepted to CSUMB and did my transfer. I graduated with my degree a few years later. Looking back on my time at MPC, the one thing I remember was the wonderful faculty I had, such as Lord Handley. It added to my deep interest in wanting to learn, and want to take this opportunity now to actually thank all the faculty and the professors in the room. Which brings me to the topic of today, supporting our faculty. It troubles me to hear the faculty that serve me in our community have been lied to and are being taken advantage of. They've been without a contract for 4 years. What kind of leadership is that? Where is the recognition of all the hard work they put into our schools and communities? I see many of them dedicated to public service, and I'm here today as a constituent to not only demand the continuation of the negotiations, but to push for the raises and benefits they rightfully deserve. I don't know what caused the president to identify a deficit when there's been almost $1 million in new money, but I guarantee you, support the faculty and the dividends will pay off. The community stands united and encourage you to either get or stay on board. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Zachary Diaz, and I'm a recent graduate of MPC. During my time here, I've come to notice many things. An underfunded social science division, a non-existent, then perilous existence of a gender studies department, some dilapidated buildings, the broken chairs and rodents in the library, and as of recently, a bevy of new part-time and adjunct faculty. I know, as well as I'm sure you all do, how good, diligent, and personable the instructors are at MPC. I'll admit that I can count a fair share of them as friends and mentors. So, the situation that they're in has left me inquiring as to the reason for MPC's recent actions. Now, I cannot speak as to the specifics of the board's case for the MPC TAs, nor is it my place to do so. I'm merely a student observer. What I can say is that it's unjust to allow the situation to reach the state that it's in. Isn't it imperative that a school have happy teachers along with happy students? And isn't it important, too, that the teachers feel they have the support of the administration? Now, I understand the stringent situation MPC has found itself in these past few years budget-wise. However, if it weren't for the instructors at this school, I wouldn't be attending UCLA in the fall. And isn't it more important to have students like me, instead of new administrators, paid hundreds of thousands of dollars a year? That doesn't make any sense to me. But, and shouldn't my needs as a student be met along with the instructors who give their knowledge and time to us, who've sacrificed a lot for us students? Well, I'm sure the board has its reasons, and I'm sure those reasons make sense to them. MPC can be much greater than this. They are an integral part of the community and the peninsula, and you shouldn't let yourselves be sullied by the possibility of a teacher's strike. Therefore, I implore all of you to listen and sympathize with the MPC TA. They do good work and must be rewarded in kind. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sonia Cortez. I am a past student. I came here, well actually, I started in Kansas, graduated in class of 10, joined the Navy to get out of Kansas, landed here when I was discharged. And this community is incredible, it's compassionate, it is beautiful, and it is a community of excellence. And I would like to see that continue. When I first left the Navy and became a citizen of this community, I used my GI Bill and I started my educational career at MPC, where I thought I was going to be a math teacher. And I started my math major, and I had a wonderful person that encouraged me, Marilyn Wilcox, and I became a supplementary instructor. And after one semester, I realized what I am not capable of. People that can teach are amazing. They are incredible. And I'm a nurse, at Natividad, I'm a community member, I've been a foster parent, but I cannot do that job. The first person that spoke was my daughter, first generation Latina. And I want to encourage her. We've tried to move away. One of the reasons we moved back was because of this community. And I think it's imperative that we keep it strong, we keep it a community of excellence, and we support the instructors that create our future. Thank you.
Hello, my name is John Wizard. I'm a resident of Seaside. I've been a student at MPC since being concurrently enrolled as a freshman at PG High back in '99. So a long time there. I'll try to be succinct, but I think it's important to recognize that in a room full of people who are here to support the faculty, it comes off a bit tone deaf to say be respectful of each other's time and limit your comments to 3 minutes. I think it's a bit strange that for faculty members who want to live here and stay here and raise families here and give back to the community, that they would not be afforded a raise, but an administrator who's trying to leave would get a raise.
Yeah.
I also think it's strange that you would give a raise to an executive to retain qualified management, but you wouldn't give the raise to the faculty to retain qualified faculty members. I also think it's a bit strange that the road for pay parity and reciprocity would be one way, in that if the faculty gets a raise, so does the leadership, but if the leadership gets a raise, that doesn't make it back to the faculty. The last thing I'd like to say is that it's incredibly bad optics for the superintendent to get a raise when the faculty won't. And I think it's important for you guys to find your backbone and not give him a raise and just continue the contract if that's your choice. Maybe he doesn't deserve that. But if for some reason they do give you a raise, just say no thanks. If they're not going to get one, maybe I shouldn't either.
My name is Deborah Rance. I am what is called a lifelong learner. I have been taking classes at MPC for 37 years. And though I'm not a transfer student or I'm not working on an additional degree, the knowledge, skills, and most of all the courage I developed as a result of the support of exemplary faculty at MPC allowed me to advance my career into the art-related career that I'd always dreamed of. Also, as a result of my tremendous experiences at MPC, I established a scholarship at the Marina Church Coburn School of Nursing in memory of my mother. The faculty there is incredible. The students are wonderful. It's been voted an exemplary nursing school. The fact that our faculty come in at the bottom of the California Community College salary ladder is not acceptable. The scholarship that I established in my mom's name, I continue to support even though I am retired and living on fixed income. I have to dig deep to support that scholarship. And I'm asking you to dig deep to support our faculty at MPC. They deserve it. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is America Ruiz, and this past Saturday I walked on the stage and received my degree. I'm the first in my family to graduate from college, and that makes me very proud. However, I wouldn't have been able to graduate if it wasn't for the instructors that I had. I remember in 2014 walking to MPC my first day of class, feeling scared and feeling stupid because I was out of high school for 10 years. So I was like, I am 20-something years old, walking in with 18-year-olds. But the minute I walked in, I remember my first instructor was Ms. Renaud. She made me feel great. She didn't make me feel stupid. She didn't make me feel dumb. And now I stand here and I feel proud, smart, that I am somebody because I received my degree. However, this would have been, I would have been able to make this possible if it wasn't for all the instructors that were there for me when I needed them to. I work many hours, I am a single mom, and they understood and they helped me any way they could. They stayed after hours to help me, and once again, like I said, if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have been able to graduate. Thank you, and please take that into consideration. Help our instructors, please.
Right on.
Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Dominic Durso. I'm a Salinas resident. Graduated MPC back in '99. To be honest, I don't really want to be here today. You know, I'm tired of having to go to things like this and say teachers need to be supported. You know, when will it finally end where a teacher could actually make a living wage and not have to have all these people show up? When can we actually worry about real problems in the community other than these ones that are made up by administration with no sense? I get tired of coming to things like this. You know, when I went to MPC and I started in '96, you know, I went there because I couldn't afford to go to UCLA or Davis, George Washington, you know, the places I wanted to go. And it was good that I ended up there because the people I saw, not just the professors, but people who had been out of school. You know, people like me who couldn't afford to go to a four-year system. We needed to meet other people who were hangry like us, you know, to realize it was going to be okay. And luckily, I had somebody like Professor Kazarian. I had Professor Polhammer back there. You know, I had professors who showed me, you know what, a four-year degree is not the end-all be-all. You know, I never even picked up my degree from Davis for 5 years. I didn't bother because that's what I felt about Davis. MPC to this day, I always recommend to people I know, go to MPC. You know, because that is where I enjoyed it. And more importantly, in this matter of hiring more administrators, between an administrator and a teacher, an administrator will never know me. I'll just be a piece of paper. You know, an administrator at Davis, granted not MPC, an administrator saw my record and said, that kid, you know, I don't think that guy can be on the stage in front of graduation. I never even made the cut to audition to give a speech at graduation. But it was an MPC teacher. He said, you know, that Dom kid, he's a little okay with words. You know, he might have something. So a year ago today, because of an MPC teacher, I stood in front of 8,000 people and spoke. It wasn't an administrator from MPC, it wasn't an administrator from Davis, it was a teacher who made sure I got up there. Professors, teachers, they are what get us to this podium today. They are what build the community, because ultimately we all have to learn from a teacher at some point to do what it is we do to make humanity survive. There's no movies that celebrate administrators. If the administrator left tomorrow, who would show up here? But when professors leave, it's a party, it's a celebration because finally they can rest. But they shouldn't have to rest that much because the struggle should not have been that hard to be a teacher. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Veronica Dix and I am a MPC graduate as of Saturday. I'm transferring to Fresno State in the fall, and I am a student with learning disabilities. And I was able to graduate with a GPA of 3.94. For my fantastic faculty and staff for supporting me and being there for me, I would have never learned my potential and being able to make that achievement. I commute from MPC. I commute from Salinas every morning to MPC, and I do not come here just for the scenery. I come here for our faculty, our teachers. I've heard great things. I was one of those people that people recommended that, oh, you should go to MPC. Despite having Hartnell right there, I chose to go to Monterey Peninsula College because of our faculty, because they have our love, support, and bonds that they share with our students. They are so filled with love and support and has helped me grow in so many ways. And I cannot think about how much I can give back to them. I just want to give back to them all the time because of how much they've given me as far as my life. And I feel so prepared to go to my 4-year because of MPC. And I'm proud to be a Lobos. I'm so proud to be a Lobos. And I I was heartbroken when I heard that the negotiations and communication between one another, the foundation of our education, it should just all be in one. We should build bridges, not burn them. And I chose to make a political stand, and I made these flyers for my teachers and faculty and posted them around campus. And happy teachers, happy students, and I feel like they've given us so much love and support that we need to show and stand up for them. If negotiations are not going well, some action needs to happen, and if students can help mediate the conversation between the board and the faculty, I will do so. I am the other half of the one that just spoke. I have also graduated this year. I have been at MPC since 2013. I am here to support the teachers who have supported me throughout my education. Without them, I don't feel like I could have gone through this community college experience alone. My sister and I have always had and respected and valued the bond between a professor and a student. Our professors have become super close to us. My sister and I would camp outside their office hours, regardless of how long they'd be there. And sometimes when they're like, "Oh, you're still here? Like, did you go home?" Like, "No, we're here." And they make the effort to help us and give us extra support on assignments, to clarify when we need to. They're always making themselves available. When we care about our professors. And sometimes when we're talking to our professors, we learn something about them. We learn that they have children, young children. We learn that they have a life outside of here. Maybe they have a sick parent. Maybe they have somebody in their family that they need to, support. And my sister and I are in awe hearing the stories from our professors, because we look up to them so much, and we're thinking they're going through this hard struggle, and they're still here to help me and to help get me through my education. I feel that in my heart, it really pains me that professors I feel like they should be appreciated more, and they should be recognized more. And I feel that sometimes the administration, they pat themselves on the back too many times, and that they need to break out of their little circle and just recognize, see who's around you. See who's around you. The faculty is around you. The professors are what make this campus possible. The students, we are your guys' income. We come to MPC for one reason, to get an education, and to get an education from high-ranking professors, and to get it from dedicated professors. So from my standpoint is to make an investment in your teachers, and is an investment in your students, which is an investment in your future.
I'm president of the letter carriers in Monterey. I've been in the labor movement for 44 years. I have negotiated a lot of contracts. I know that sometimes you want to pull your hair out. I know that sometimes, and I know that sometimes people are probably called very special names. But I was also a facilitator for 8 years. We don't always get what we want in negotiations, but we must strive to reach settlement. Our letter carrier union worked 2 years. We've been working without a contract for 2 years. They just now got a contract. 4 years is a long time. This area is 34% higher cost of living than anywhere else in the nation. People can't afford to stay here if they can't have a livable wage. I've never been to a meeting, I know Margaret Ann, all of you look like you should be able to get this together. If you need a facilitator, I will offer my services for nothing. But if you can read, if you can reason, if you have knowledge, it's because of a teacher. And teachers, I grew up in a town of 1,200. I probably got one of the best educations of anybody. I was very lucky Teachers are dedicated, they put money out of their own pockets, they work long hours, they probably get about a nickel an hour if they add everything up. But I know that they care. And I encourage you, leave here and say, by golly, we're gonna do this for the community. I'm hearing lots of talk in the community about what the hell's going on in MPC. I didn't even know anything was happening because I'm not in college anymore. But I do care about the community. I would hate to lose a college. I didn't know that they were on whatever it was, suspension or whatever you know. That's not good. This is an area that leads a community in so many ways. You can do this. Both sides can do this. You owe it to us in the community as well as all the teachers. But please, leave here. If you do nothing else but say, we're going to meet tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock and we're going to not leave till we have a contract. By golly, that's what I want you to do as a member of the community. So God bless you all and thank you. I hope this is
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lakeisha Bradley, and I'm the Director of Student Success and Equity here at Monterey Peninsula College. And I'm not here to try to sway anyone one direction or the other. I am here to talk about our Student Equity Program, and I am compelled to speak to you because of communications, that I have seen recently that have stated that students are not first when it comes to our Student Equity Program. And I am here to share with you my honest and my heartfelt commitment to our students here at MPC and to working together as partners, as an MPC family, to help others, to help our students and our community members reach their educational goals. I am here to assure the board, to assure our MPC students, to assure our MPC community that we most certainly do put students first when we are looking at equity and we are considering what we are doing with our equity program and our equity funds here on this campus. And to be completely honest and frank with you, I find it particularly offensive that anyone would dare say differently. Whether it is providing direct aid, such as child care support, bus passes, books to students, supporting increased tutorial support, providing computers to help students get their coursework completed, or whether it is the introduction of new programs and projects here on this campus, such as our Logos Ambassadors, our First Year Experience Program, research efforts such as our focus groups, or whether it is the professional development opportunities that have allowed us to send faculty and staff to trainings and conferences so that they can better teach and support students, or bringing those training opportunities here to our MPC campus and our MPC community, whether they are fellow teachers from far distant lands from where we are, or organizations that can help us build and foster a safe community for our students and our staff and our faculty here on this campus. All of this is done with students in mind. Everything is done with the goal to working to identify how we can better support and bring information to this campus to help our students, to help them be successful, and to help increase their outcomes as they move forward. Yes, this does include the 80-some odd activities that are listed in detail in our student success and support program plans and our student equity plans. But it also includes a thorough look at positions regardless of their classification that can be brought to this campus to help us more efficiently and effectively support these efforts and these goals that everyone inside this room and many of those who cannot be here with us today dedicate ourselves to. Thank you.
My name is Barbara Moore. I'm a homeowner and a resident in Monterey. I am here because I care about Monterey Community College, both as a member of the community and also as a lifelong learner student over there. I also have about 16 years of experience as an administrative law judge in labor relations. So I am particularly distressed at how I see the contract negotiations here at MPC. The California legislature passed the collective bargaining law back in the mid to late 1970s because it determined that employees should have a voice in their wages, hours, and working conditions, and that was to benefit the community and to benefit higher education and institutions such as Monterey Peninsula College. You have a partnership with your employees. It is a two-way street. Both sides have to bargain in good faith. The fact that you are now facing impasse and that the faculty has been without a contract for so long means that at a minimum, you are not living up to the spirit of the law, the collective bargaining law. As you approach the possibility of impasse, I encourage the board to take your authority, because the president and the bargaining team are your agents, but ultimately it is you as the board that have the responsibility to see that you reach a contract with the faculty and the other employees. That's part of your obligation as your position as a trustee. I am sure all of you are on the board because you care about the quality of the college. It's a tremendous asset in this community. And the fact that it's on probation, I think is terrible. The fact that you haven't had a contract for this long, I really encourage you to take a step back and to direct the president and the bargaining team to go back in a spirit of trying to reach a contract sooner rather than later. It's really essential. And I just hope that you can manage to back off from the impasse. And the fact that the salaries here are so low compared to the rest of the state, when we know we have one of the highest costs of living anywhere in the state, that has to be taken into consideration. I wish you success, and I hope you really will take it as your responsibility to direct your staff to make sure you reach a contract. Thank you.
Thank you.
I know I have a very quiet voice. Can everybody hear me? At the back there? Okay. My name is Dr. Hazel Ross. I retired from teaching 2 years ago. I agree with Gary Bowen. I was chief negotiator for MPCTA for most of my time at MPC, and most of that time I handled the faculty grievances. Today, MPC is at a turning point as it faces going down a long, dark road with an uncertain future. In all my time at MPC, I have never seen faculty so demoralized and so riled up. I have never seen an administration so aggressively adversarial. I have two questions for everyone today. Does anyone on either side really want to go down that long, excuse me, I'm getting emotional. I love it. We're facing going down a long, dark road with an uncertain future. I've already said that. But two questions for everyone today. Okay, I'll get there. I've only been teaching for God knows how many years. Does anyone on either side really want to go down that long, dark road on a journey from impasse to mediation, to fact-finding, to striking, to a place, no matter who wins, the students, the college as a whole, and the community loses? Would anyone on either side not want to try to find a way back, to pull back from the brink, and to try to find a way out, no matter how impossible that might seem in this moment in time? Who would have the courage, and yes, it would take a lot of courage, to step away from the precipice and pause for a moment to ask, is there a way to find a solution that is at least somewhat palatable to both sides? But right now, I would hazard a guess that both sides are reacting with a resounding, no way, because emotions have been so high. Let me tell you a story. I'm sorry, I didn't know I was going to be this emotional. Well, I've never done this in front of my students. Let me tell you a story. A while back, there was a situation where a teacher and a student got into a confrontation. Emotions were at a fever pitch, and each felt emotionally beat up by the other one. It was ugly, and things were escalating and getting way out of hand. The teacher came to me, and we had a long discussion. A day or so later, he came to tell me what he had decided to do. Quite ruefully, may I have a couple of minutes? I'm almost done.
Take a
Couple of
breath and then
seconds.
finish quickly, please.
Thank you. He came to tell me what he had decided to do. Quite ruefully, he said, "I've decided to fall on my sword." Why decide to do something so unpalatable? He recognized that he and the student were not on equal terms because he was in the position of authority. He extended an olive branch to the student and opened the door to eventually resolving the issue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Man, oh man, are you guys in a tight spot? So I came to MPC in the fall of 2012, and I started my placement. I was in pre-calculus when I was in my coursework in high school, but I didn't really learn much, so I placed into Algebra 2. I was in your Algebra 2 class. You put up with me, and I appreciate that. And I learned. I finished Calculus 3. I finished linear algebra, largely thanks to Dr. Cristobal's efforts for making calculus something more palatable. I took Alan Hoffa's English course and wrote about police brutality. I took Lauren Blanchard's political sciences course the same semester Donald Trump was elected. Can you imagine how tense that was? Now, I didn't come here thinking that I was going to speak, but I figured that I kind of had a responsibility to, because although I graduated MPC and I gave my graduation speech last Saturday. I have a little brother who's starting MPC in the fall. And then probably a decade from now, I have a little sister who's probably going to start MPC. Now, I come from a truly amazing family, and I think that it's very unfair to say that the administrators don't care about students or that they're not prioritizing students, because honestly, if it wasn't for the administrators, I wouldn't be able to attend MPC. My estimated family contribution, the EFC, was $0 for every single semester I have been at Monterey Peninsula College. If it wasn't for the federal Pell Grant, if it wasn't for the Board of Governors fee waiver, I would not be standing before you today. I would not have graduated with 2 associate's degrees for science and 1 associate's of arts degrees. I would not be on my way to UC Santa Cruz, and I would be pretty sad, very sad. And at the same time, I can see this bind that the teachers are in, because I am uniquely situated by my position as the president of the Associated Students to hear from the students. And by virtue of that, also listen to the teachers. And I think that that is the crucial thing that you're doing here today, is that you are listening to the teachers. It's important that they get their points across. It is important that they are their priority. And it is important that you take steps moving forward from here on that benefit the students, that benefit the teachers, that give us all an equal opportunity to advance, to learn, and to dedicate our lives to the pursuits that give us passion. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Kenneth Murray, pastor of the Ocean View Baptist Church, Seaside, California. And I come today in support of the faculty, in support of the students, and in support of the trustee board, because you can't work together unless you come to the table together. A lot has been said in the paper, media, and today. And the question is now, is where do you go from here? When you leave this building, where do we go? Do we go back and continue to be separated, or do we come together and try to resolve the issues of what has been projected by voice today? I have nieces and nephews that have graduated from MPC. I've had my daughter that graduated 2 years ago, and now as a student at San Francisco State University. I have a church member to my left that you all should know that is a striving student trying to obtain his degree by any means necessary at MPC. And he loves his teachers, he loves his fellow students, and he loves the trustee and the administration. And there's a lot of tension. A lot of stuff has been said. But the question is today is, where do we go from here? Don't leave your faculty hanging out there, because they invest not only in education to be at their present employment, but they invest daily and nightly to make sure that they're preparing these students for a future. And so we support from the city of Seaside and my church, we support the faculty. We're not on no political agenda. We support the trustees. We support everybody. We're not taking sides, but we want the right thing to be done. And the right thing to be done is not only to listen to the concerns of the people, but come to some type of agreement to where these faculty members get some type of compensation for their work. That's where we need to go from here today.
My name is Michael Joe Martin. I'm the Dean of Instructional Planning at Monterey Peninsula College, and I have been an administrator at MPC for over 18 years. So just putting that out there, because some administrators do serve for a long time. Not everybody, but some. All right, I am also a member of the district's bargaining team. So I wanted to make a public statement to clarify what actually happened at the bargaining table on May 5th, and to address how it may have been mischaracterized by some. On May 2nd, the district sent a letter to the MPCTA requesting additional dates for negotiations in June. The district also revisited MPCTA's prior offer to reach a tentative agreement on key items on May 5th, and to immediately reopen negotiations in the summer to address the remaining items on the table. You may recall at the April 26th board meeting, the MPCTA president announced very clearly that May 5th was the last date that MPCTA would meet with the district for bargaining. The May 2nd letter was the district's second attempt to get MPCTA to agree to more time at the bargaining table, which MPCTA has resisted. MPCTA did not offer additional dates to MPC on May 5th. When the parties met, MPCTA deferred discussion of the district's proposal on TA with immediate reopeners to see how the day went first. The parties did negotiate the division chair article, and around 3 p.m., the district asked MPCA if additional negotiation dates could be agreed upon because the bargaining meeting would be ending at 5 o'clock. MPCTA said that it did not want to continue meeting if the salary issue could not be included and resolved in the tentative agreement. MPCTA said that the tentative agreement would have to include a salary increase of at least 1% across the board, and that further meetings would not be scheduled if the district could not make at least a firm commitment to this. Because of the district fiscal situation, the salary payments already given for the 2016-17 and 2017-18, and in light of the district's proposed increases to salary schedule B and C, the district informed MPCA that it could not make that commitment. And MPCA said that further meetings would not be productive. In light of the MPCTA statement that May 5th was the final meeting and its conditions placed on future negotiation meetings, the district determined that MPCTA's negotiating position and the district position were not going to be resolved on May 5th, and MPCTA would not be meeting again until at least August 2017. It was only at this point when the district decided to present this last best and final offer.
Thank you, Mr. Gilmar. That helps us with our understanding. All right.
Alan Hoffa, Vice President of the Faculty Association. First of all, I have great respect for Michael, but what he just said, much of it is simply false. And that really makes it hard to go back into negotiations. From the beginning, the way the district has represented to you and to the public what happens in the negotiation room has been misleading. So first of all, let's set the record straight. Back in October when we first met, the district came forward with so many proposals to change the contract that our CTA rep, who negotiates many tables and has done this for many, many years, was very clear with your team. What you're trying to do is basically rewrite the whole contract. There is no way to do that in one negotiating year. And let's try to focus on a few key things from both sides. The district was unwilling to do that. So then, back in, after the accreditation report came out, MPCTA came to the table and said, we would like to focus on the issues relating to faculty, the two issues in the accreditation report, namely SLOs and evaluations. Let's focus on them and focus on a couple of things that matter to us, including compensation. Let's knock out a contract now, and then we can continue to work on other things with reopeners. Again, the district came back with something like 7 different proposals. So we have tried very hard to focus on getting a contract done and then working on these larger issues. Some of these issues that the district has sunshined, they touch every faculty member and every program and every student. It's a massive reorganization of the college. It's not something that you can simply slam through. And so it's troubling to me that Michael would characterize the negotiations in this way, because it's simply not reality.
Hi, my name is Wes White. I'm a Salinas resident. I've also been a substitute teacher for a good 6-7 years. Went to Arnell. I've considered being an actual teacher, but this kind of stuff makes me really disappointed. I've seen it in other districts as I've moved along. What does it take to be a teacher? How hard you struggle? How much you sacrifice? And you know, it just doesn't seem to add up as like a good career choice for me. And it takes an awful lot of sacrifice. You know, I'm just tired of seeing all this disappointment. It seems like we're disempowering the students, we're disempowering the teachers, and we're making top-heavy administration. This has been a long-standing thing. Kindergarten used to be great, and teaching used to be great when it was an art form. Now it's more of an institution. We have to be all policy-oriented, and people got to stay in a chair and keep growing that. And it's students, man. It's kids that matter the most. And that's what everything around our budget should be geared around, and the teachers are the first connection and only connection almost exclusively with the students directly. And you know, just end the disappointment, do some negotiation, give the teachers throw them a good bone, give them a whole drumstick.
Good afternoon to the trustees, to the instructors, faculty, students, community members, everyone here. Hello, my name is Alvarez Michi Pierce. I'm a student at MPC. I'm also a Logos ambassador. I've been a long-time student at MPC. I started from 93 to 95 when I was a little younger. And I came back 20 years later in fall of 15. So I like to think that MPC stands for Michi Pierce's College. I'm almost done with MPC. Hopefully next year I can graduate. I'm just trying to get through this algebra. But as I look around this room, I see so many of my instructors, advisors, directors from different departments. And I love these people. I love these people because they have helped me so much. I suffer from some issues, my main issue being narcolepsy. So I'm that guy who falls asleep like in the first 5 minutes of class. And let me tell you, all of my instructors have been so accommodating. Okay, they could just let me be that sleep and snoring dude. But, you know, except they help me, you know, and with the Access Resource Center, with their accommodations, with the raising desks, like I have Professor Serpay. But my problem sometimes is when I sit down and then game over, because then I fall asleep. But all of my instructors have been most helpful, most accommodating for my success. Okay, and after speaking with many of my instructors, both present and past, these people feel disrespected. Okay, so don't disrespect them because they help me and they help others. Okay, so if we can get through this and get them not just a bone but a couple bones,
right?
You know, something that they deserve, because they don't have to be here. You know, except they choose to be here because this is a wonderful school. This is a wonderful school. So thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else wishing to make a public comment? All right, we are going to take... Oh, excuse me.
My name is Suzanne Hammonds. I'm a support person in the business office. The other side there. Been here about 18 years. Started here with Michael. We've got bigger problems all around us. This is one very major problem, hurdle that we have to get over. But there's something else that's hanging over our head, and it's the ACCJC report. I don't know how many people have gone online and actually read that report. Yes. It really will put things in perspective, correct? Another report that I think is well worth reading is the Collaborative Brain Trust report. We did one a year ago. I don't know how many people have read that. That's the operational, how should we say, the consultants that came in and did an operational audit of our facilities. I encourage everybody to please read through that. It will put things in perspective. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sean, are there...
May I?
Yes.
Thank you.
Public comment.
Sean Anderson. I'm the Executive Assistant to the Superintendent, President, and the Governing Board. As a former MPC student, I have had extraordinary instructors at MPC. As an employee, I have also worked with extraordinary administrators and board members who truly want the best for this college, even when to do so they must take actions that are unpopular. It is counterproductive and unfair to demonize our administrators or any segment of our community who work so hard in support of our college and our students. Everyone at MPC matters. From its board to administrators, faculty, classified, and those of us very few confidentials on staff, we all contribute to MPC. Faculty are essential to MPC, but so are the administrators who are responsible for the long-term health of the college. We must come together and work together to keep MPC healthy. We all play a role in the failure or success of MPC.
Are there any other comments?
One quick one. I just want to follow that sort of all lives matter.
Wait, could you come to the front?
So yeah, all lives matter, but some people's
Wait,
lives are...
could you begin speaking when you get at the front?
Sure. Anthony Vidal, Sociology Department Chair, saw you this morning. Thanks for having me back. The sort of all lives matter discourse is wonderful. We're all in this together, hooray. Okay, we do the kumbaya. But the reality is adjunct instructors on this campus are paid among the least in the state. So their lives matter a little bit differently than all the other lives. Okay? So let's stop with the kind of feel-good rhetoric and realize that we're in a really difficult situation here where instructors are on the verge of talking about more significant labor action. So I think there's a couple ways we can do this, right? We can go forward in a unified way and try to work it out at the bargaining table, where now you're starting to see what class power looks like. And I actually like class power, because the history of unions in this country was based on class power. We're coming from different class positions. And so it's not lost on this group that some of us in this room are earning $200,000 a year, while other people are trying to patch together a life with $6 or $7 or $8 or $9 or $10,000 a year. And that's not going to be forgotten about. Okay, so yeah, all lives matter, we're all going to work together, but we're also in this from very different social locations. And we're going to continue to make those social locations very, very present as this goes forward. Yes. And I want to thank everybody for being here today.
Is it still afternoon? My name is Bob Mulford, and I'm a member of something that's never been mentioned this afternoon. It's called the Monterey Peninsula Foundation. We do one hell of a lot of work for students and for faculty, and if none of you believe it, I'm sorry, you better learn about it. We are gaining, we're earning money, we put all kinds of money out to the students and to the faculty. I'm the chair of the faculty advisor or advancement FASA. Yeah, I can never remember staff. They know. Yeah, I'm not staff. I'm not paid. I'm a mere volunteer, and the rest of us on the foundation are volunteers too. And we're here for the school, and we are here for the students, and we are here for the faculty. And I chair the faculty. And many of you have gotten money from us because of the money we get in, and you put your request for grants in. So let's not all say it's all good or it's all bad or it's all this or all that. There's a lot of good stuff going on in this school.
Mark Clements. I'm the adapted PE teacher here at MPC. My students are disabled, physically disabled, mentally disabled, psychologically disabled, and so I have a special thing for my students. You know, they cross barriers every day. Many of the barriers we don't even think about. When we lost money 2008, we went ahead and we made changes. The old adaptive center, it was, you know, it had a historical meaning to it, but it was removed in facilities. But, you know, we used to have tram service to help those physically disabled kids cross campus. That was gone. Now, we talk about what they need to do. And we talk about basic skills. We talk about what it takes to become a transfer student. You're asking people who are in wheelchairs to walk. To get into a door to get service sometimes at this college, you have to walk. It's hard when you see students who have to meander in wheelchairs trying to find and get to places. Get to a bathroom that you can't open. You know, that's special to me. Because that, you know, that's really the students. You know, and that's really important. I said some of the nonsense I mentioned this morning. I find it just nonsensical. When you have students, the ones I see, that have to go through the barriers and things they have to do, that it really comes down to we just can't even get along. And you see that, you know, that what they have to struggle with. And they are students. They don't always show up in the numbers. They don't always show up in the transcript. But I can say really proud that I had one person who was with our program for 5 years, walked at a graduation. I could say how many students were not supposed to be able to walk, they can walk. But it wasn't just because of here, but they go out to all across the campus. They get help from the faculty, the staff. And they're working their tails off to do those things. Miracles do happen. I don't think they're miracles. I just think putting everything together. I don't believe in miracles. It's just hard work doing things you got to do over and over again. We have many successes here. But these artificial barriers we keep throwing out in front of us, and the numbers on a computer really don't count. Because the real change is the transformations we make with people, that they're not supposed to be able to do these things. And what you really hear is the passion of the people here. They have to beg. And people come to the community and realize that there's some transformation that doesn't throw up on a computer. There's some real change that can be made here. And I think maybe that's something that we need to get back to.
Are there any other public comments?
So my name is Chris Kalima. I'm the coordinator counselor for the Math Science Program program. And in sitting here listening and seeing all the things that have come out today, for those of you who don't know, I work with high school students and I help them go to college. And I know that there's a difficult time when students get to their senior year and it's a difficult conversation that they have with their parents about going to college. And what I talk to the students and parents about is that students want what's best for them and parents want what's best for their students too, but it doesn't always agree. And it gets to that point where they sit at a table and they argue and they yell because the parent is worried about money, how are they going to fund it, how am I going to pay for the education, and you have a student who's worked hard for 4 years to get to this point in their life, but they don't have the opportunity to go to the college that they want to because of the challenges that they face. And I find that this is where we're at right now with wanting what's best but not agreeing. But the difficult part about it is that once you strain the relationship, once you stop listening to each other, once you stop wanting to work with each other, then it makes it really difficult to come to an agreement. And I see what's happening with the articles going back and forth, with what's happening here, and it makes it really disheartening and frustrating to know that we're at a point where we can't sit down at a table and talk openly and honestly about the challenges we face, where we are going back and forth in a way that we have to air it out in our community now because we couldn't handle it at the table together. And that's where the frustrating part about it is now, that we had to come to this point to hopefully come to a better agreement where people have come out in droves to be able to support the faculty and the community has come out, and the difficult situation that you are in also. I understand that there are things that I am not aware of, that I don't have to take into consideration because I'm not at that level, I'm not at that table. And I understand that piece, but the relationship is so strained, the trust has been broken in such a way that people are frustrated, that they don't trust the administration. But I just need to say that it's really disheartening to see where we're at right now. Thank you.
Any other member of the public who would like to make a comment? Okay, we're going to take a 10-minute recess and then reconvene with the consent agenda.